Hey, hey there. Come on into my kitchen. Come on. Tonight we're making burgers. Nothing really beats a good burger. Even if you're feeling sad, a burger can really get you going. Oops, too many burgers. It's a little tight. Come on over this way. Let me show you what you got. Get this nice over-the-shoulder shot. In here, we've got our ingredients. We've got our finely diced onions. We've got our jalapeno pepper. You can see an egg sneaking around in there. You'll notice this dusting on top. Montreal steak is really what you need to light your burgers up. It's going to keep that flavor while the onions are keeping it juicy. I'm going to go in and mix this all together. And what's this we've got over here? Oh, no propane, no problem. Got a cast iron sizzling up. We want to get that really hot so you get that first initial sear. See you in a couple seconds once I got these burgers. So when you're making the burgers, I like to do mine so that it's a little ball that fits between your hands. Then I give it a nice squish. You really want to make sure the edges stay together. So I'll give it that initial squish so it's nice and thin. Burgers are always going to puff up when you're making them. Make sure the edges are all glued together, and then I sink that inside down so you get a little depression. That way when the burger starts puffing up, you don't end up with a big meatloaf between the bun. What I really like to do is for my burgers, before I do all the side stuff like the cheese and prepping the condiments, that way the burgers are nice and warm on the outside, and when you put it on, it starts to cook right away. The inside is also warm, so you're not waiting for that heat to penetrate down into the meat. So I'm gonna cut some cheese. We got our tray of burgers right here. Our pan's heating up, and let me tell ya, we're gonna eat good tonight with a keen eagle eye. You might notice we've got a little bit of smoke coming off the pan. That lets us know it's at the smoke point of the oil. We don't need to smoke out this whole kitchen like some sort of Jamaican rain. So at this point, we're gonna put the burgers on. Now when you're putting the burgers on, have some sort of plan. I like to go around and then plop one right in the middle. Okay, so I got my nice thin burger, put on the edge, a little press to begin with so that we get good contact. And then we go. 1, 2. If the burgers were too thin, they'd be falling apart and it'd be too hard to handle. If they're too thick, it's going to be like you're eating a meatloaf. Okay, now unfortunately, since you only have the cast iron, I'm going to have to do these in at least 2 rounds. So we got these in here. Oh, do you smell that? You can't smell it. Too bad. Flip, you're going to be able to identify some hotter spots on your pan. So if you have a look down here with me, you can see this one's really starting to juice up. These ones not so much. I'm going to move this one to the cooler side and get these cooler ones onto the hotter side. Let's see what that first flip looks like. Oh, that's a beauty. That is a beauty. So let's get these guys turned. We're going to rotate so that the inside where it's hotter gets this half of it. Let's see, maybe these guys will be okay here. Oh yeah, they're just fine. They're happy. The reason I prefer making my burgers on the barbecue is it can be a lot more hassle-free than a cast iron. We've got our first batch off. They're here and looking great. Nice sear on them. In between putting the second batch on, I'm just cleaning off the scraps here. We don't need anything burning. And I'm also making sure the pan is going to be nice and hot for that initial contact. That's where the color comes from. Okay, so we just flipped these. We waited for them to start to sweat a little bit. Now that they're flipped over and it's our second batch, I'm going to start putting the cheese on. We didn't want to cheese the first batch because if it drips onto the cast iron, it's really going to make a mess. Cheese. You gotta love this stuff. Just going by the time, I think our burgers are almost done, but I wanted to show you this old Navy trick that I know. To get the cheese to really melt without overcooking the burgers, you throw a lid over top. That keeps the steam in, and if we have a peek, yeah, you can see our cheese getting nice and melty here. Right on. Okay, so I was gonna end today's episode there, but my producers reminded me what a great audience you've been, so I thought I'd give you a little bonus material. To turn our burgers into a nice low-carb meal, or just save room for the meat, we like to use half a wrap. We'll put the burger right at the front of the wrap. We'll take our back that's all mayoed and condiment up, and we will fold it over. It gives it a bit of a pocket feel, but you've got all your condiments and your meat ready to go. Thanks for watching. Burg on.